Back here with another Training Camp Live presented by American Airlines. It's the joint practice between the Cowboys and the Chargers. Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Youmans. Let's take a look at what's going on behind us here on practice field number 2. It's the Cowboys defense versus the Chargers offense. We got a chance to see this matchup a little bit early on. This is moving into move the ball. This is trying to put together a drive. Both first team, second team, third team will get some reps throughout this drill. And we're starting off, of course, with the first team, Justin Herbert at quarterback for the Chargers, and Austin Eckler with a huge hole cut right back up the middle. It would have been interesting to see if Micah Parsons could get in there.
I think Micah Parsons would have came with the tomahawk over the top and knocked the ball out, or at least had an opportunity to wrap him up. But I'm encouraged to see Micah Parsons, Vander, Esch, and Anthony Barr all at the second level. That is really encouraging for Cowboys Nation.
You think you'll see any of that? Maybe not through the preseason, but look at all three of them right now. Is this a possibility moving forward? And a lot of times they went into that nickel, they went into the three safety look, and you didn't necessarily have three true linebackers on the field at the same time, as it looks like Carlos Watkins gets a little head start. But you didn't have three guys on the field at the same time. Now that you have a guy like Anthony Barr to put in that mix, do you expect to see more three linebacker sets?
I do. I believe that it helps them tremendously in terms of their rush defense, which is obviously something that they needed to address coming off of last season. And you think about, the size of these guys and their capabilities. You got Micah Parsons is now the smallest linebacker when you look at that starting group, and that's kind of crazy to say.
Wow. He's the one that's probably going to be up at the line of scrimmage even more often.
Absolutely. And then don't be surprised to see Anthony Barr because of his size. You see him down at the line of scrimmage as well. He's at 6'5", almost 260 pounds.
He'll draw back in coverage, and Micah Parsons will rush the passers, or vice versa. You'll see the same thing on the other time around. Here's Herbert again under center this time. Play action. Three-step drop right over the middle, and he hits Mike Williams, the big 6'4", 220-pound veteran into his 6th year with the NFL and with the Chargers. But, man, he found his way open.
Yeah, that's too much space, way too much space. But that's what happens when you play zone and you have a little misdirection and play action. There's going to be those holes in there, and that you just need your defensive front to create some seams and get up the field so that obviously quarterbacks of this caliber can't pick you apart.
Let's talk about Anthony Brown here for a little bit. A career year in 2021. He's going up against some of these very talented Chargers receivers throughout practice today. And, of course, even if he gets a chance to play next week, and that time he got beat on that route. But what do you expect out of him as kind of an encore overall to see what Anthony Brown can do in the secondary?
I just want him to be consistent. I just don't want him to be a guy that, teams look away from Trayvon Diggs and all of a sudden they can go over to his side and just have their way. I believe that if he can just go out there and be consistent, stay in front of guys, stay in their hip pocket, be just a pest. And then he doesn't need to be a shutdown guy. Just be a guy that Coach Quinn, Joe Witt Jr., Al Harrell, all these guys can go out there and just rely on him to be what he's been. And that's all they need to ask of him.
Chargers moving the ball. It's Easton Stick at quarterback. He had some pressure from Mika Tafua going up the middle. And Gifford nearly had the interception as he batted it down, and a really good coverage skill from the linebacker there.
Great job. This is the reason why Coach does all those ball drills pre-practice, because he wants every guy on this team to feel comfortable. When they face and they have that opportunity to get a pick like that, he wants them to feel confident that they can go ahead and get that interception. Missed opportunity there. Hopefully he takes advantage of it if that presents itself in the game.
Got to take advantage of it. Really like the pressure from Mika Tafua straight through the interior. Oh, somebody jumped offside. Sam Williams went straight and took a snap.
He's still excited to be a rookie.
He tried to take a head start. Zach Bailey, who's sitting there, the left tackle, just tapped him on the helmet and said, "Up, I got you." Here he goes again, and this time he splits the gap, actually hit a double team as that one's dropped on the far side. Nice coverage from DaRon Bland. He actually batted that ball out.
DB, I'm going to start calling him DB. And I'm not talking about the quarterback position. He is playing with so much confidence right now. I can't overestimate, I can't overstate how important that first game in the preseason was for him and his confidence. Being a guy that was a later draft pick and coming in and making plays like he did, all of a sudden here he comes and he continues to make plays against some high talent here for the Chargers.
So it looks like we're about to go through some red zone here. They're moving down this direction. This is going to be a fun one because we're looking at really the red zone ability of this defense. This is one of the places where last year they shined. I mean, this was a defense that really was successful in the red zone the majority of the time. And, of course, on third down, they were the second-best team in all of football. So they're going to have some third down efficiency here, and they're going to go with the Chargers offense against the first-team Dallas defense. What do you want to see out of the red zone efficiency right on the edge of it?
I want to see these guys consume the space. Don't give these guys the space that's necessary down here. It's already tough on them. It's already tough on the offense because there's not a lot of room. But what these guys have that most other teams don't have are some pretty doggone good-sized receivers. You got even at the tight end position with Everett. These guys are tall. These are 6'3", 6'4" guys, so they're able to make plays that most teams can't make. So just take away the space. Don't give them that opportunity to make plays.
Little play action. There's Herbert looking to his left, trying to go into the flat, hit a guy right on the edge. It's Keenan Allen, and he dragged both feet for the first down. Looked like Hooker was in coverage, Jabril Cox was in coverage, just an open spot on the out route.
Yeah, it was playing cover two, so it was a little high-low, pretty much. They isolated the cornerback. They had a running back coming out into the flat route, which took the eyes of that cornerback up to the line of scrimmage, which then opened things up between the corner and the safety for Allen right there. It's a classic play, and those guys executed it well.
Fantastic throw from Justin Herbert, hitting him on the sideline, too, to where only Keenan Allen could bring it in. First down throw over the middle. That one's complete to Palmer, far side. He was covered by Anthony Brown. What'd you see on that one?
He stayed in his hip pocket. He did exactly what I just mentioned, what you want to do down here in the red zone, but ultimately it was still a completion. I think, you want to continue to keep those guys in front of you. You can't be overly aggressive. I think he was right on the edge of that. His toe was in the water in terms of being a little bit too aggressive, because if you missed on that tackle, all of a sudden he's running up the sideline for another 7 yards and it ends up a touchdown.
First-team offensive line versus the first-team defense. Couple guys scattered throughout. Dante Fowler Jr., Terrell Basham in there as well. Throw into the flat. That one's complete to Eckler. He threw on the brakes right before he met Malik Hooker.
Not sure if anybody was able to see, but Jabril Cox, I have my eyes on him, and I want to see his ability to continue to stay mobile as these guys try to work up to the second level and get their hands on him. With that knee, is he still as quick to avoid blocks, or is he going to get caught up engaging with guys and then find himself in a position where you just can't get off, and now all of a sudden you're not a reliable source for your defense?
This one from just about the 12-yard line. Herbert, plenty of time, dumps it to Eckler. Now Eckler has some room, and good job by Gerald Everett as now Eckler gets hit by Donovan Wilson at the goal line, and looked like he was trying to touch him up, but maybe a little extra push there.
I think Donovan Wilson might have got a little extra lift in this week because Eckler is a pretty strong guy himself, so he just got a little lift off right there.
Really nice job of sealing the edge. Trayvon Diggs could not get off of the block from Gerald Everett and just really couldn't get a good angle at Eckler trying to catch the sideline. Here's Chase Daniel at quarterback. Play action to Roundtree. He goes, dumps it right back down, who's already on the ground, and a gain of maybe about 1.
But again, Luke Gifford is where he should be on that play. And that's something that you're continuing to see reoccurring in this practice. He's not the guy that's going to make the big hits all the time, not going to make the big splash plays, but he is dependable, and he's where he's supposed to be. He's a reliable source for this coaching staff on the defense, and then we already know he's a pillar for the special teams. It bodes well for his opportunity to be on this team.
Now, they're working situational scenarios here for both the first team and second team, but the fact that Cowboys haven't given up a straight touchdown yet, you can maybe argue that the Austin Eckler run may have been if he was trying to finish through a tackle. But really, it's been encouraging so far throughout this red zone work. Palmer out at receiver. It's Chase Daniel who hands it off behind the line of scrimmage, and nowhere to go for the Chargers ground game. No chance for them to break out of a tackle.
I like it. You're seeing a little bit of attitude from the twos here for the Dallas Cowboys. I love to see it. You don't want to see a big drop-off from your first team to your second team. That whole characteristic, that whole attitude needs to carry over into every part of the depth chart.
Really looked like this team, at least from last week, they've kind of taken the message well. Last week, Denver came in, and you talked about it. They were put down by Denver. They've turned around and they've responded through these two practices. Up to this point, still a long way to go this week, and then, of course, into the game Saturday. Long way to go, but you're seeing some growth from both units on the field this week. There's Palmer, caught that ball while covered by DaRon Bland. They're going to call him down, but ultimately a nice job by Palmer to reel in that football, and a tight throw from Justin Herbert.
And you mentioned it, DaRon Bland. These are the ones, Kyle. These are the ones that are in here right now. You see DB, the rookie that's in here working in the nickel position. That is very encouraging. And, again, this is giving him every reason to continue to play with confidence.
Now keep that in mind. He'll stay out there right now. The corners are Diggs, Brown, and DaRon Bland. Play action to Spiller. Off-balance sidearm throw, and it's incomplete. Looked like he was trying to go to the tight end that time and Trey McKitty, but it was Donovan Wilson that came over and just had the coverage.
Give him a little nudge.
A little bit of nudge, right?
A little, I'm here, just in case.
Just a little tap on the shoulder. It's just an alert. That's all it is. This just makes me itch for real football, for getting back on.
Getting there, Kyle.
In the game. We're almost there. Mike Williams out at wide receiver for the Chargers. A straight handoff. Osa Odigizua got in the backfield quickly. Nice job of plugging the hole for Dorrance Armstrong and Leighton Vander, Esch too. Tristan Hill was in the middle, but it was really Osa who got in the backfield and blew that play up.
It's a great combination. You think about Tristan Hill, Odigizua, those guys are both stout individuals, right? 300 pounds, solid 300 pounds, just kind of short and stumpy for their position, but they're quick, right? And they have the ability to maneuver and get around these centers and guards.
3 receivers now, all to the near side of the formation. It's Palmer, Williams, and Keenan Allen. Osa Odigizua taking on the double team. They go the opposite direction to Austin Eckler, and he missed the pylon, so he didn't make it into the end zone, but ultimately still a nice play.
Still a nice play. We talked about Levin's ability to be able to take up space and really close on offensive players. He did so right there because most other linebackers, that would have been an easy touchdown.
So second team in there now again. Easton Stick will be at quarterback. A couple of the guys for the Cowboys, Bell, Coyle, Nashawn Wright, Israel Mukwamu, Luke Gifford out there on the defensive side. 3 receivers in tight. Handoff. Nowhere to go. The ground game has not had any success against this defense yesterday and today throughout team drills.
And that goes from last week as well. And the Dallas Cowboys defense did a pretty doggone good job of stopping the Denver Broncos pretty effective, historically good running attack from getting anything going on the ground. And here you go carrying it over now with this backfield that has plenty of depth for the Chargers, and these guys are continuing to stop things up. It's encouraging.
Kevin Marks Jr. is the tailback. Easton Stick at quarterback as they put a man in motion. Stick over the middle, overthrew his man, but they're going to throw a flag. Not exactly sure where the pushing and tugging was. Didn't necessarily look like there was a whole lot of contact, but it looked like Marquise Bell was going to be called for the flag. And, of course, the intended target on that one was Michael Bandy.
I think he slid the referee $5 bill.
Did you?
Yeah, I think he did.
In practice?
Yeah. It was quick.
Does that happen?
Might have been in digital currency. I don't know.
Digital currency, a little crypto. It's blockchain.com. That's exactly what it is overall. But that's going to do it for us here on this edition of Training Camp Live presented by American Airlines. This is video 2 of probably 4 on the day. So Isaiah Stanback, Kyle Youmans will be back with more. Keep up to date on DallasCowboys.com.